But mortgage rates just took another major leap. The 30-year fix now stands at 5.25%.
Prices were up around 17.3%. Other markets even higher.
You have to ask the question whether in the second half of this year or next year, are we going into recession?
Hey guys, it's Richard here. Today I'm gonna give my honest thoughts if it's too late to buy a home in 2022. Given the recent talks of a looming recession, rising inflation rate, and a potential stock and real estate market crash, I'm gonna tell you why it really doesn't matter in the long run, and it's a good buy opportunity for a home. Whether it be your first investment property or your dream home, it really doesn't matter. Why trust me? In 2022, I bought my third investment property, and I put my money where my mouth is. But I don't have a crystal ball that can tell the future what's gonna happen. But in my opinion, I'm not crazy, and you won't be crazy if you buy a house in 2022. Let's get started. Like most millennials, financial security is at the forefront of our minds when it comes to buying a home. But this could be a result of us living through one of the greatest financial disasters in history, the 2008 real estate market crash, where it affected our family and friends, and we saw our loved ones lose their wealth in an instant. In a 2019 Fannie Mae study, the reason why millennials aren't buying homes is because higher cost of housing, carrying higher levels of debt, tighter lending standards, and the fact they don't need the space. 3 out of 4 reasons are basis of affordability. The fourth reason is more of a cop-out. The reason why we tell ourselves when we cry ourselves to sleep paying a landlord's mortgage. Millennials are steadily falling out of middle class. Today, 60% of millennials are considered middle class, compared to baby boomers where 70% are considered middle class. You know what's the largest differentiator between what makes you part of the middle class? It's home ownership. The prime reason why we can't reach the American dream of the middle class is because of affordability of home prices. As the US National Home Price Index has been rising year over year, and affordability has been on the drastic decline. This has only been escalated by the pandemic. In 2020 through 2021 alone, the median home prices have risen 17%. That's an appreciation of over 1 Bitcoin, or $50,000. This affordability issue is built on one simple concept: supply and demand. Supply or housing inventory has been on the decline. This can be due to local ordinances or state laws that are preventing builders from building. And also, increased material costs has made it harder for builders to keep up with market demand. And builders aren't building fast enough to meet with the current market demands. Overall, supply has drastically been reduced, while demand has skyrocketed due to exuberantly low interest rates, work from home orders, and FOMO. This primes the real estate market into lower affordability and higher appreciation. For those who bought in 2020, good job. You did great. Here's the thing, if you think it's bad and you could wait for history to repeat itself, for the real estate market to crash, think again. Where subprime lending was running rampant, the US government has enacted actions in order to prevent this from taking place. They have enacted stricter lending policies to prevent this from occurring ever again. Fingers crossed it worked. Look at history. It's more likely that affordability will only get worse rather than better. Like everyone says, never try to time the market. If you really think history is going to repeat itself, then we should be expecting some AMC games sometime soon. The 2008 market crash is what I'd like to call an outlier event. Betting on something like that happening again is really unlikely, but it doesn't mean there is no potential for a real estate market correction in our current real estate market.
So here's the thing, there's a lot of talk about the real estate market in terms of a recession or a correction, right? A lot of people are being sidelined due to mortgage rates, but a lot of people are just sitting on the sidelines because they're waiting for a correction to occur. And these people are waiting, they're building sideline demand. Once there's a minor correction in the market or a correction in general in the market, these people who have been waiting on the sideline, they'll rush into the market. Even though a correction is going to happen, these people will increase demand. And you'll still have that same supply because once prices drop, right, people are less likely to sell their homes, right? Even if they bought at the all-time highs. So you won't have the same amount of supply. So these people rushing into the market due to correction, they'll end up driving market prices. And like I said before, in the long run, it doesn't really matter. If you're in it for the long haul, the real estate market is a good investment tool to build your financial future.
Fueled by instability from the pandemic, geopolitics, and inflation, buying a home is becoming more and more out of reach. Demand or the ability to buy homes will lower because people are being priced out by mortgage rates as we speak, as interest rates are rising. Let me show you how interest rates are pricing people out.
So the first thing we're going to do is take a look at mortgage rates. So a 30-year fixed mortgage rate currently sits at 5.27%. Just in January alone, we were looking at a mortgage rate of 3.56%. To make things easy in terms of math, we'll just take an account of 3.5% and 5.25% for fixed rate mortgages, just for a comparison of how people are getting priced out. So currently, the median sales price of houses sold in the United States is $428,000 roughly. And we're going to assume the down payment and everything. So a median sales price and a mortgage loan amount of $400,000. Now let's take a look at the amortization calculator. As we can say here, we have $400,000, a loan term of 30 years at a 3.5% APR. We're looking at a total payment of $646,000 with a total interest payment of $246,000. Your monthly payment is $1,800, but let's see what happens when we put 5.25. So you're looking at an increase of $400 per month. So 2,200 divided by 1,800. That's a 22% increase in loan payments per month. Additionally, you're paying more in terms of interest in the loan amount, as noted from the increased interest rates. But that $400 difference is what's pricing people out. The stricter lending policy also is factored into that. So you're having a lower debt to income ratio. Thus, it's pricing people out of the market. Let's make another assumption. Let's say the market correction actually occurs for real estate. We're looking at a 10% correction. So 10% correction to your loan amount. You're looking at $360,000. So in this situation, we're looking at a loan amount of $360,000 at the same fixed interest rate of 5.25%, which is unlikely because as a correction occurs, the most likely thing will be mortgage rates will rise. So we're looking at a monthly payment of $2,000 roughly. Let's assume another correction. Let's assume from the original $400,000, we're assuming a 20% correction. You're looking at a loan amount of $320,000. With a 20% market correction, housing market correction, you're looking at about $1,800. That was almost equivalent to when we bought an original $400,000 loan amount at a lower interest rate of 3.5%. As you can see, a 20% market correction, I can't say it won't happen, but it's really unlikely to occur. So even with a 10% market correction, you're looking at a savings of $200 per month in monthly payments. This enforces the fact that you should never try to time the market.
So as the mortgage rates are rising, people are eventually going to be priced out in buying real estate. Once this happens, overall real estate demand will decrease. But another thing also happens as rising mortgage rates. Homeowners will be reluctant to sell their homes because they have a subprime 3% mortgage. And with that, you're more reluctant to sell your property. And that will further limit supply. So eventually, these two factors will balance each other out. And the only thing that I perceive that will increase real estate property value is FOMO. So a chain of events might happen. Once people are reluctant to sell and there's lower demand, the real estate might enter a correction territory. See where I'm getting at? It's a chain reaction. Investors are less likely to sell their real estate portfolio when they see dramatic decreases in real estate property values. Like climate change, nothing will change. Affordability will only get worse. I don't foresee it getting better anytime soon. So if you can afford it, buy a house now, build equity, and join the middle class. The longer you wait, the more likely the odds are going to be stacked against you. What makes you think that affordability will increase over time when you have these large corporations buying up homes, driving up home prices? Just because they've failed once doesn't mean they won't be back for round two.
Round 2. Fight.
When we're looking at history, we have to also take the perspective of global real estate market. Appreciation has been occurring throughout the global real estate market in cities that are termed desirable, cities with a positive population growth and relatively nuanced conveniences where people want to live. Younger generation, older generation, it doesn't matter. Overall, as we can see, globally, the real estate market has appreciated as much as the United States. It's not a United States thing, it's a global instant. And affordability is tied to this, right? If everything is getting more expensive throughout the world, right? Affordability of homes throughout the world is getting worse. And if history repeats itself, it's not gonna fix itself anytime soon, right? Look at climate change. Have we fixed anything? So don't bet on a correction. Even if there's a correction, if you can afford it now, just buy a home. Just buy it. And you'll reap the rewards. Don't look at it at a micro scale. Think of it long term. Think about it 5-10 years ahead. There are other financial benefits to home ownership. There's tax deductions. There's appreciation. It's not guaranteed, but as long as you're buying in a relatively good neighborhood, you should have appreciation. But there's also the fact that you're not paying someone else's rent. You're not paying something that will not give you any return in the future. If you like what I say so far, please like and subscribe. It really helps support the channel. Don't worry about buying at all-time highs, because if you look at history, real estate in the long run has never gone down. It's only gone up. Unless you're buying in the shittiest neighborhoods possible and you really want to live in a city where population is declining. If you can afford it and give up some luxuries to be able to own a home and not pay someone else's mortgage, there's financial value to that. It opens doors for you for future options. You can do a 1031 exchange or a 2 out of 5 year rule in order to upgrade your house to your dream home, to the future that awaits you. You have to think long term when buying a house. People who are buying their dream homes are usually short-sighted by this, and they're buying homes that are way above their pay grade. They're thinking about luxuries that they really can't afford. So when you're thinking about buying real estate, you have to look in the realm of possibilities, something that you can afford. Of course, you can give up a lot of luxuries just to be able to own your dream house, but is it really worth it in the long run? Remember, I don't think I'm crazy for buying a house in 2022 at all-time highs. I'm in it for the long haul. And if you're considering about buying a home in 2022, you should be in the long haul too. You're building a financial future for yourself. If you like what I had to say, please smash the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Peace.